It is well known that the plans for Tupac's Euthanasia record label was real, but not many knew about his plans for a third album with Death Row Records, as told by Wendy Day on Beehive TV. Interviewed by Beehive TV, Wendy Day revealed Tupac's plans for a third album on Death Row Records. Part of Tupac's obligation to Death Row Records, who bailed him out of prison, was to record 3 albums for the label. Tupac's All Eyes on Me, which was a double album, counted as 2 of the 3 albums. Many had assumed the Machiavelli album was planned as the third, but in fact Tupac wanted to release the album as a free mixtape. According to Wendy Day, Tupac had plans for a different album to close out the deal with Death Row Records.
Right.
And he knew what the third one was going to be. It was going to be called One Nation. He was dividing everybody East Coast versus West Coast, but the third album was going to bring everybody back together. He had already started recording it.
But what exactly was next for Tupac after Death Row Records? Well, according to Wendy Day, Tupac had plans for his own record label called Euthanasia.
But I was in the process of putting together the business plan and actively shopping him a deal at that point when he died. The plan was for him to start his own company, but we were shopping a deal so that he could start his own record label, but it also had community centers attached. It had daycare centers attached in major metropolitan areas. Like it was called Euthanasia.
Yeah.
It was so much bigger than what anybody had ever done.
Back in 2019, Tupac's close friend Kendrick Well, who was interviewed by Camp Capone News, also touched on Tupac's Euthanasia record label plans.
He really wants to start a label called Euthanasia to help kids and mothers. He really wanted to do some positive stuff.
Money would be an issue in making Tupac's vision a reality. It was well known at the time of Tupac's passing he did not have much money. He had owed a lot of money to Death Row Records, which included studio time, cars, homes, and other expenses. Whatever the reason and however the money was managed, or rather mismanaged, Tupac had a hard time funding his label.
You know, to fund this label, he had to get some of his advancement or some of his money from Suge. And it was weird. When we go get the money wasn't coming. It's like, you know, here's some money in your pocket. That money came fast. But when I went to go get money for this label, this new label, it was hard going.
Despite the difficulties, Kendrick Wells contributed in helping getting things moving with his own money. Yaki Gaddafi's mother, Yasmin Fula, also contributed to the label.
Yaki Gaddafi's mom came out. You know, we got her out here. She moved into that office. I said I was a part of bringing that. We didn't get any Death Row funding.
With that being said, how does Suge Knight actually feel about Tupac wanting to start his own record label? There have been many speculations in the past that Suge Knight wasn't happy Tupac was starting a label. Those around at the time denied ever hearing or seeing any concrete evidence of Suge being upset, but one can imagine from a business perspective, someone like Suge, a label owner himself, wouldn't be too happy with the idea of his top artist leaving.
He's got this multi-millionaire artist that's dropping platinum records. Is it to his benefit to keep him focused on his career? Or is it beneficial for him to go out and have guns ordered up or start a different business, you know? And was it a distraction, you know? Or did you offer me a piece of it? You know, whatever. From a business stance, I can see where, you know, some of the shit that Suge did was genius.
Let us know in the comments below what you think about Tupac's Euthanasia plans. And as always, like the video and subscribe for all the latest hip hop news.